Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya 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 Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं, देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया, भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। We are reading from Canto 5, The Creative Impetus, Chapter 5, The Teachings of Rishabdev, text 21 and 22. So let's recite 21. Bhuteshu Bhuteshu viruddhya uduttamaye, Sarishrapasteshu sabodhanishtaha, tato manushyaha pramatastatopi, gandharva siddha vibhudanugaye, bhuteshu viruddhya udattamaye, sarisrupasteshu sabodhanishtaha, tato manushyaha pramathastatopi, gandharva siddha vibhudanugaye, bhuteshu viruddhya udattamaye, sarisrapasteshu sabodhanishtaha, tato manushyaha pramathastatopi, gandharva siddha vibhudanugaye. I'll chant the next shloka. Devasurebhyo Maghavat Pradhana Dakshadayo Brahmasutastu Tesham Bhavaha Parasota Virinchaviryaha Samatparoham Dvijadeva Devaha. What word meaning? Bhuteshu, among things generated with and without symptoms of life. Viruddhbhya, than the plants. Udattamaha, far superior. Ye, those who. Sarisrapaha, moving entities like worms and snakes. Teshu, of them. Sabodha nishthaha, those who have developed intelligence. Tataha, than them. Manushyaha, the human beings. Pramathaha, the ghostly spirits. Tataha api, better than them. Gandharva, the inhabitants of Gandharva Loka. Appointed singers in the planets of the demigods. Siddhaha, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, who have all mystic powers. Vibhuddha Anugaha, the Kinnaras. Yea, those who. Deva, the demigods. Asurebhyaha, than the Asuras. Maghavat Pradhanaha, headed by Indra. Daksha Adayaha, beginning with Daksha. Brahmasutaha, the direct sons of Brahma. Tu, then. Tesham, of them. Bhavaha, Lord Shiva. Paraha, the best. Saha, he, Lord Shiva. Atha, moreover. Virincha Viryaha, producing from Lord Brahma. Saha, he, Brahma. Matparaha, my devotee. Aham, I. Dvijadeva Devaha, a worshipper of the Brahmanas, or the Lord of the Brahmanas. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Of the two energies manifest, spirit and dull matter, beings possessing living force, vegetables, grass, trees and plants, are superior to dull matter, stone, earth, etc. Superior to non-moving plants and vegetables are worms and snakes which can move. Superior to worms and snakes are animals that have developed intelligence. Superior to animals are human beings, and superior to human beings are ghosts because they have no material bodies. Superior to ghosts are the Gandharvas, and the superior to them are the Siddhas. Superior to the Siddhas are the Kinnaras. And superior to them are the Asuras. Superior to the Asuras are the demigods, and of the demigods, Indra, the king of heaven, is superior. Superior to Indra are the direct sons of Lord Brahma, sons like King Daksha, and supreme among Brahma's sons is Lord Shiva. Since Lord Shiva is the son of Lord Brahma, Brahma is considered superior, but Brahma is also subordinate to me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because I am inclined to the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas are best of all. Purport. In this verse, the Brahmanas are given a position superior to that of the Supreme Lord. The idea is that the government should be conducted under the guidance of the Brahmanas. Although Rishabdev recommended his eldest son, Bharat, as emperor of the earth, he still had to follow the instructions of the Brahmanas in order to govern the world perfectly. The Lord is worshipped as Brahmanya Deva. The Lord is very fond of devotees or Brahmanas. This does not refer to so called caste Brahmanas, but to qualified Brahmanas. A Brahmana should be qualified with the 8 qualities mentioned in text 24, such as Shama, Dama, Satya, and Titiksha. The Brahmanas should always be worshipped, and under their guidance, the ruler should discharge his duty and rule the citizens. Unfortunately, in this age of Kali, the executive is not selected by very intelligent people, nor is he guided by qualified Brahmanas. Consequently, chaos results. The mass of people should be educated in Krishna consciousness so that, according to the democratic process, they can select a first class devotee like Bharat Maharaj to head the government. If the head of the state is headed by qualified Brahmanas, everything is completely perfect. In this verse, the evolutionary process is indirectly mentioned. The modern theory that life evolves from matter is to some extent supported in this verse because it is stated Bhuteshu Virudbhyah. That is, the living entities evolve from vegetables, grass, plants, and trees, which are superior to dull matter. In other words, matter also has the potency to manifest living entities in the form of vegetables. In this sense, life comes out of matter, but matter also comes out of life. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattas sarva pravartate. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. There are 2 energies, material and spiritual, and both originally come from Krishna. Krishna is the supreme living being. Although it may be said that in the material world a living force is generated from matter, it must be admitted that originally matter is generated from the supreme living being. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Katha Upanishad. The conclusion is that everything, both material and spiritual, is generated from the supreme being. From the evolutionary point of view, perfection is reached when the living entity attains the platform of a Brahmana. A Brahmana is a worshipper of the Supreme Brahman, and the Supreme Brahman worships the Brahmana. In other words, the devotee is subordinate to the Supreme Lord, and the Lord is inclined to see the satisfaction of his devotee. A Brahmana is called Dvijadeva, and Lord is called Dvijadeva Deva. He is the Lord of Brahmanas. The evolutionary process is also explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya, chapter 19, wherein it is said that there are 2 types of living entities, moving and non-moving. Among moving entities, there are birds, beasts, aquatics, human beings, and so on. Of these, the human beings are supposed to be the best, but they are few. Of these small number of human beings, there are many low-class human beings like Mlechas, Pulindas, Bauddhas, and Shabaras. The human being elevated enough to accept the Vedic principles is superior. Among those who accept the Vedic principles, generally known as Varnashrama, presently known as the Hindu system, few actually follow these principles. Of those who actually follow the Vedic principles, most perform fruitive activity or pious activity for elevation to a high position. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Out of many attached to fruitive activity, one may be a jnani, that is, one philosophically inclined and superior to the karmis. Yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mamveti tatvataha. Out of many jnanis, one may be liberated from material bondage, and out of many millions of liberated jnanis, one may become a devotee of Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guraho Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Aya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishaye Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Yat kripatam vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hare Krishna. So here the context is Rishabh Dev is preaching or teaching, his 100 sons. And in the previous verse, he declared Bharat Maharaj or Bharat to be the Maharaj. So he is the king, or he was made the king. And Rishabh Dev instructed you all other 99 people, you serve him, you follow his instructions. And now Rishabh Dev is actually telling that whom should Bharat follow? So this is what is very nicely told in this two long verses, that whom should Bharat follow? Whom should the king follow? So the translation goes like this: of the two energies manifest, so the two energies of the Lord, spirit and matter, beings possessing living force are superior to dull matter. So Prabhupada in the text also is saying that the modern theory says that living entities come from matter. So to some extent, it is told here also that how the living force or the living entities come from matter. But then Prabhupada also makes a point, but matter comes from living force. So Prabhupada has his own way of putting things. And he makes it very clear that how everything comes from Krishna. And also, from the other angle, if we see, so various of these living force which we are talking about, the vegetables, grass, trees and plants, basically sthavara, we are talking about sthavara, the trees and the species of trees. So, they come from the earth. And earth is considered as one of the mothers, Mother Earth. So again, we understand that Mother Earth, in various places, she is considered as the living entity. And all of them, these living entities are coming from another living entity. So in this way, the living force is superior to dull matter. And even in Bhagavad Gita 7.5, Krishna is saying, Aprayam itastvanyam prakritim vidhime param jiva bhuta mahabaho ye idam dharyate jagat. Oh Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which is exploiting the inferior energy. So who is that superior energy? The living force. Superior to non-moving plants and vegetables are worms and snakes, which can move. So worms and snakes, they move. And Prabhupada says that when there is a forest fire, they are the first ones to get burnt because they cannot move very fast. Then who can move fast? We have superior to worms and snakes are animals that have developed intelligence. One of the speaker was saying that we don't find any worms and snakes becoming devotees. But I was thinking about Vasuki and Ananta and all, but maybe they are not considered. But then we hear about various animals becoming devotees. Like, and he gave the example of Gaur Lila, where the dog was following Shivananda Sen in the yatra to Jagannath Puri, and how he got delivered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we have such examples. But we never know in Jharikanda forest who all got delivered. Maybe snakes and worms also. Superior to animals are human beings and superior to human beings are ghosts. So, very nice statement. Ghosts. So, because they have no material bodies. Now, actually, this material body is the cause, right? The material body is the cause of various sufferings that is there. So, this material body is not there. No, so, things like death and disease are not there. So, they are considered superior. Superior to gods are Gandharvas, and superior to them are the Siddhas. So, Gandharvas are the beautiful singers who sing very melodiously, glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have the pastime where Narada, in one of his life, he was a Gandharva. And when he was invited in the assembly of the Devi Devtas to glorify the Lord, unfortunately, he, becoming lusty towards other female Gandharvas, he started glorifying various Devi Devtas. And Devi Devtas got really offended, and then he was cursed, and that's how he became the son of the maid servant. So Gandharvas are very melodious singers. Superior to them are the Siddhas. We hear in Prabhupada's lecture about Siddhas that in this modern world, people need airplanes, Sputnik, to go from one place to another. But Siddhas, they can fly from one place to another. They have Siddhis, mystic power. Superior to the Siddhas are the Kinnaras. So I was reading about who is a Kinnar. So Kinnaras are basically, Prabhupada says, Garuda. Garuda belongs to this species called Kinnara. They have human-like structure, but they have wings also. So Kinnaras. So you see all these modern movies, they take from all this place only. So they have to refer to Shastra. And superior to them are Asuras. And superior to Asuras are the demigods. So Asuras, they are really, really very powerful. They have Vedic knowledge. They don't follow, that's a different thing. But they're very powerful because of their austerities or penance or whatever it is. But they're very powerful in various ways. And superior to the Asuras are the demigods. And of the demigods, Indra, the king of heaven, is supreme. So this is a known fact. I need not speak about it. Superior to Indra are the direct sons of Lord Brahma, sons like King Daksha and so various direct sons of Brahma, the four Kumaras and Daksha, Prajapati and others. They are superior to Indra. But then supreme among the Brahma sons is Lord Shiva. Since Lord Shiva is the son of Lord Brahma, Brahma is considered superior. But Brahma is also subordinate to me. Okay. So here we have to understand the position of Lord Shiva. So we have various tattvas, that is Jiva Tattva, Shakti Tattva, and we also have something called a Shambhu Tattva. So when it comes to Lord Shiva, he is not considered in Shakti also, nor in Jiva Tattva. He is somewhere in between. And even various shlokas, which we know from Brahma Samhita. So it's very clear that Lord Shiva is almost equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is not Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's like the difference of curd and milk. So we can say curd is milk, but then curd cannot serve the purpose of milk. So in this way, Lord Shiva is, one devotee was asking this, but Brahma is a living entity. Then how is Lord Shiva coming out from him? And what about Varahadev? Varahadev also came out from Brahma. So how do we justify all this? So it's a Leela, they're coming out like that. But so here we understand very clearly that when it comes to manifestation in this world, so how do these great personalities manifest? That is their Leela, how do they manifest? And it's up to them. But then when it comes to superiority wise, we understand that how Lord Shiva is superior. But here, the description is of this material world. So he said Brahma is considered superior. But here, Rishabdev himself is making this statement. See, this only Krishna can do. Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead can do, where he can openly say, Matta parataram nanyat, no one is superior to me. And here Rishabdev in the same mood is saying that Brahma is also subordinate to me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because I am inclined to the Brahmanas, Brahmanas are the best of all. So this is the shloka for today. There are a lot of things which are described here very wonderfully. So maybe we'll go. The evolutionary thing that was described, so I'll not get into that. It's very clear. So we'll talk about the position of a devotee. In first paragraph and third paragraph, the position of a devotee is spoken. So let's speak about that. So in this verse, the Brahmanas are given a position superior to that of the Lord. And the idea is that the government should be conducted under the guidance of the Brahmanas. Now this is something that is expected. In fact, not just Kshatriyas, but every single person who is very passionate should be guided by the mode of goodness. Very, very important. So the Brahmanas are those people who are supposed to be in the mode of goodness. And they are the ones who are supposed to guide the society. So Kshatriyas, they are always guided by the Brahmanas. And whenever Prabhupada gets this opportunity in his various purports, he'll mention that how the current government is not guided by the Brahmanas. You see, in the case of Vena, when he was exploiting the citizens in various ways by his demonic mentality and demonic actions. So what was happening at that time? So at that time, the Brahmanas took the lead because they were superior. They took the lead, and just by chanting mantras, they killed him. Very powerful. They killed him. And they enthroned Prithu Maharaj after that. So here we understand very clearly Brahmanas are needed to guide the entire society. All this is very, very difficult. That's why Prabhupada had this great desire, and he had this full forced, intense mood that more and more Brahmanas should be created. And during that time, the initial days, Prabhupada wanted ISKCON to become that factory of generating Brahmanas. And actually did that in various ways. And with time, then Prabhupada started speaking about Varnashrama and other things. So we are expected to become first-class Brahmanas. We are expected to become first-class Brahmanas because Brahmanas are needed to guide the society. And Lord is worshipped as Brahmanya Deva. So you see how close the Brahmanas are when it comes to the Lord. Brahmanya Deva. So we have this shloka that we chant while offering bhoga. What is that? Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So Brahmanya Deva. So Brahmanas are very dear to the Lord. That's why Lord also is called as where is that? In one of the Brahmanas are called as Dvija Deva, and their Deva is Lord. So he is called as Dvija Deva Deva. So very nicely that is mentioned here. Now here, who is a Brahmana? That has to be understood. So at least in the age of Kali, many people claim to be Brahmana. But then Brahmanas should have qualities, various qualities. In one of the Gita courses, one person came and then he was telling, I am a Brahman. I was hearing. He's telling various things, Advaita philosophy and this and that, all khichdi. And he was very proud of the same. That I'm a Brahman, I follow this, I do Sandhya Vandanam and this and that. Then I just asked him a question, do you work? Do you go to office? He said, yeah. Then you're not a Brahmana. You're a Shudra. And then I proved that how we are not Shudras also. So Brahmanas will never work under anyone. Never. A few of the spiritual masters in ISKCON also, they don't give Brahman initiation to people who work, who go to office. They don't give. That makes sense also. That makes sense also, right? It's because Brahmanas will not take salary. Brahmanas are the ones who will just live on charity. They'll always keep giving charity. They'll accept charity, they'll give charity, and they'll always remain poor. That's what is the qualification. That's what is the external qualification we can say of Brahmana. But internally, we have so many qualifications. Controlling the senses, controlling the mind, and the speech has to be truthful, and then the person has to be tolerant, and so many other things which are there. And his profession is also very clear. That is Patan Pathan. He learns or he reads Shastra and he teaches Shastra. Nowadays we have these surnames, Trivedi, Chaturvedi, Dvivedi. Vedi hota hai kya? Vedi. So we have these different titles, but then how much do we know from the Vedic scriptures, right? So we have the Brahmanas would read Shastra and teach Shastra, Patan Pathan, Yajan Yajan. So Brahmanas would worship the deity and they would teach how to worship the deity. They would do yajna and they would do yajna and they would teach how to do yajna. Yajan Yajan. Dan Pratigraha. They'll accept charity and they'll give charity. So they will never accumulate. They'll never accumulate. They'll not have bank accounts. They'll never accumulate. So in this way, Brahmanas, they maintain their purity and they're detached from this material world and they're attached to Parabrahman. That's the definition of a Brahmana. The one who's attached to Parabrahman. Now this also goes on to say who is the worshipable deity of a Brahmana? Who is the worshipable deity? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna alone. Vishnu or Krishna, basically Vishnu Murti. So when it comes to Brahmanas, they will not worship anyone else. Kali Yuga Brahmanas, Prabhupada says, they'll worship Kali, they'll worship Shiva. But when it comes to Brahmanas, from the Vedic scriptures, they're worshippers of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and no one else. And we have so many different Brahmanas. I hear in West Bengal we have Brahmanas eating fish. And that's like absolutely okay. They say it's Shastrik. I don't know which Shastra talks about it, but then they say that. But it's very clear, worshippers of Lord Krishna. And when it comes to worshippers of Lord Krishna, we understand very clearly that they will be following various different rules and regulations and Archana Vidhi and Bhagavad Vidhi and things like that. So they have to maintain the purity. There is no doubt about that. Now see, when it comes to these Brahmanas, here it is said that Krishna is giving them the superior position. Now many times we hear that how Lord is giving his devotees superior position. In, if I'm not wrong, Vishnu Puran or Padma Puran, where Lord Shiva is saying, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnur aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadyanam samarchanam. So he's making it very clear that the supreme Aradhanam sarvesham Vishnur aradhanam param. So param aradhana, the best of all the worship is worshipping Lord Vishnu. And tasmat parataram devi tadyanam samarchanam, but worshipping the tadya or the devotees of the Lord is much superior. I said this in one of the class, and intelligent Gita course participant will ask intelligent question. Then why worship Krishna then? We'll worship his devotees. Wonderful. Wonderful. But then we have to see what the devotees are saying. The devotees are saying worship Krishna, so we have to worship Krishna. And then in Bhagavatam also we have this verse where Lord is keeping himself as subordinate to his devotees. Aham bhakta paradhino ya swatantra evadvija sadhubir grasta hridayo bhakter bhakta janapriyah. So he's saying that aham bhakta paradhino. So Lord puts himself subordinate to his devotees. It's not that devotees have any extra opulence more than the Lord. So they are Supreme Personality of Godhead. No. It is the Lord who is giving the position, a superior position to his devotees, like he does in his various leelas, where he's crying in front of Mother Yashoda. And when he's crying to meet his friends, there are various descriptions where the friends are saying that we'll not take you for play, and then he's crying, no, please take me. And then Srimati Radharani, when she does her Man Lila, at that time, Krishna is doing various things as a subordinate of Srimati Radharani. So it does not mean that these personalities have something extra than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Krishna is giving that superior position to his devotees. And why is he giving? Why is he giving the superior position to his devotees? Let's discuss this. It's a very, very important aspect of this particular purport. So last stanza, it talks about evolution from Chaitanya Chaitamrita. And here it is said, moving and non, there are two types of living entities, Thavara and Jangama. Among moving entities, there are birds, beasts, aquatic human beings and so on. Of these, the human beings are supposed to be the best, but they are few. Of these small number of human beings, there are many low-class human beings like Mlechas. So Mlechas comes from the word Mala. Mala means dirt. So they are dirty. They are like pigs. That's what is mentioned. One devotee was sharing. Pulindas and Bauddhas and Shabaras. So I was hearing this about Pulindas. I forgot what was. So Shabaras are the ones who are like staying in the mountains. And Bauddhas are unintelligent. So Bauddhas have no connection with Gautam Buddha wala side. So Bauddhas are unintelligent. And Pulindas are the pig eaters. Pig eaters. So they are into that category, pig eaters. They are low class, basically uncivilized. And then human being elevated enough to accept the Vedic principles is superior. A very nice hierarchy that is given here. So now we have uncivilized people and then we have civilized people. And there it is described, the ones who accept Vedic principles, generally known as Varnashrama. And people say, I believe in this. I believe in this. And after that it is said, few actually follow these principles. I believe in this, but then there will be few who actually follow these principles. Yes. Of those who actually follow the Vedic principles, most perform fruitive activity or pious activity for elevation to high position. In various lectures of Prabhupada, you might have heard, Koti Karmi Madhye Eka Gyani Shrestha. So there might be, crores and crores of fruity workers. And in that, there will be one Jnani who is a Shrestha. That is one philosophically inclined and superior to these karmis. And then Koti Jnani Madhye Eka Bhakta Shrestha, Prabhupada says. One may be liberated from material, out of many jnanis, one may be liberated from material bondage, and out of many millions of liberated jnanis, one may become a devotee of Krishna. This is the last line of the purport. So that's why in Bhagavad Gita also we see, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. So after many, many millions of lifetimes, then finally a person comes to the conclusion that I have to surrender to Krishna, and Vasudevam Sarvamiti Saha Mahatma Su Durlabha. Same thing is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam also. Durlabho manusho deho dehinam shanabhangurah. So it is said that Durlabho manusho deho. So this manusha janma that we have got is Durlabha, is very, very rare. Durlabho manusho deho dehinam shanabhangurah. But this deha that is given to us or we have got, it is obviously very, very rare, but it is shanabhangurah. It's temporary. It's very flickering. And then tatrapi durlabhav manye. But there is something even much more rarer than this particular thing, that is human form. And what is that? Vaikuntha priya darshanam. So it's even more rare, to become a devotee or to get the darshan of the devotees. Vaikuntha priya. Vaikuntha is the Lord, and the ones who are dear to the Lord, they are the devotees of the Lord. To get darshan of the devotees or to become a devotee is even more rare. So I was just thinking about this point, that after when we read purports of Srila Prabhupada, we understand that what opportunity we have got in this human form. Almost every Bhagavatam class will hear this, that how rare this human form is. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mamveti tatvatah. 7.3 Bhagavad Gita. So very clearly it is mentioned as sahasra manushas. There are millions and millions of human beings. And out of that we have all these different categories. Now when it comes to us, we are so fortunate. We have come in the association of devotees. Tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priya darshanam. We are getting this opportunity to associate with devotees and to practice devotional service. Very, very rare. Very, very rare opportunity. So it's a very important thing to understand, after getting this rare opportunity, what am I supposed to do? After getting a human form, coming in the association of devotees, getting an opportunity to practice devotional service, what am I supposed to do? We are supposed to serve Krishna. That's it, and nothing else. So this life is meant for serving Krishna and nothing else. There is no other purpose of this life as devotees. There is no other purpose for sure. Yes. This life is not given for us to get entangled in this material world more and more and more. Yes. So it's very, very important, at least for us as practicing devotees, we have to meditate on this point, that what am I doing after getting this rare human form and the rarest opportunity to practice devotional service onto the lotus feet of Krishna in the golden age of the golden avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what am I supposed to do? What am I doing? And the answer, or the answer that is expected, or the goal that is there is, I'm supposed to engage myself completely in service of the Lord. Very, very, very important. This life is given to serve Krishna, for Krishna, and nothing else. Nothing else. So I was just thinking, the full-time devotees who are there. I feel very fortunate whenever I get opportunity to serve with full-time devotees. Now when we sit in the association of brahmacharis and we look around in all saffron, in various sanghas we have now, it feels so nice, so wonderful. Such fire in the clothes itself, and such fire in the attitude, and such fire, in their services. So now we are organizing this Tirupati festival. So I have this opportunity to interact with so many brahmacharis, and so many of them are calling and talking. And it's so nice to see that they've given their life to Krishna. So when I look at these people, I feel I am just by fluke there in a brahmachari ashram. They're so fired up, so fired up. So this one important thing we understand is, these devotees have realized how great this opportunity is, and they have given their life for Krishna. And recently I was speaking about Kadam Kanan Maharaj also. So just imagine how glorious life of Maharaj is. How glorious. Full life, every moment engaged in service of Srila Prabhupada. Every moment. So this is actually a human form meant for, to serve Krishna all the time, 24 by 7. That's the goal that we're supposed to achieve. That's the goal, to attain. So when someone serves Krishna 24 by 7, why will not Krishna give him the superior position? He's just searching for reasons to take us back home, back to Godhead. For small reasons he keeps searching. When someone is giving his life for Krishna's service, why will not Krishna take that devotee back home, back to Godhead? Why will not Krishna give him the superior position? When Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja, anyone who surrenders to Krishna, obviously Krishna removes all the sins and makes him pure and things like that, and at the same time he gives him the superior position. So nice. So it's a very important thing to note that life, human form, especially after getting this opportunity to practice bhakti, is just meant to serve Krishna and nothing else. Right? Yesterday we were having a meeting of Bhakti Vriksha leaders, and we were just having some discussion about how to manage a Bhakti Vriksha and logistics and this and that. Some devotees were asking that, what if our subordinates don't come to help us after some time and things like that. So we were just thinking, and also we were speaking about this point, that it's very, very important to be a missionary and to create missionaries. A missionary is the one who is always engaged in service of the Lord without thinking about one's own well-being or having some selfish motives or ulterior motives. All the time busy thinking about the mission, all the time busy thinking about service that is given in the parampara. So all the time. And all the acharyas in our parampara, they were like topmost missionaries, everyone. You look at these Goswamis, my God, sleeping for 2 hours, all the time writing books and eating something, whatever they would get, maybe a cup of buttermilk and maybe some chapatis, very difficult to understand, what sort of missionaries they were. And they would hardly get time. It's not that they had time and they were like, no, austerity and I'll not sleep. They hardly had any time. You look at the books that they wrote, so many books, and a major chunk of the books Jiva Goswami buried. Understanding the mentality of Kali Yuga people, that these people will not be able to understand our Goswami books. So he made the Grantha Samadhi that we'll find in Sanatana Goswami's Samadhi Mandir. In that place we'll find his Grantha Samadhi. So they're just writing the books, establishing temples and so many things. And after that also we have these different acharyas. So you see, all of them have set a great example in various ways of being missionaries. Look at Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And sometimes when people say that, Prabhuji, this engagement, that engagement, we directly give example of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. First you beget 11, that we will see. How busy you are. My God, what was Bhaktivinoda Thakur doing? So then people will say, Prabhuji, he was a manjari in the spiritual world. But whatever it is. But he was doing the Manushya Leela. So he is there in the material world, and he also has the same restrictions because the body is there. When body is there, Prabhupada writes 3 modes of material nature. Sorry, it's not the right thing to speak about 3 modes of material nature. But the body has its own demands. So just giving up all that and having that higher vision of missionary spirit. Recently, Sudhir Gopal Prabhu was speaking about in Sunday Feast about Chaitanya Chaitamrit, that how difficult it was for the various acharyas. Firstly, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, another missionary, at the age of 95, he writes Chaitanya Chaitamrit. And then after that it becomes lupt. It's not seen, authentic Chaitanya Chaitamrit. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur takes 14 years to find an authentic Chaitanya Chaitamrit. And then he spends almost 6 months or 1 year to write down that authentic Chaitanya Chaitamrit, because that copy was one and he wanted to replicate the same for himself. And what did Prabhupada do? The same thing. Missionary. He also did the same thing. Least bothered about oneself. And many of the times, these great acharyas in our line, they were attacked by various envious people. But look at the missionary spirit. Whatever it is, I'll not budge an inch. I'll go on serving and serving. What is right, I'll do. This is the missionary spirit. Least bother about one's own self, but all the time just serving the mission in whatever way possible. So this is what is expected. We cannot obviously become such big missionaries. They are like huge fire. If they're forest fire, then we are the fire in the matchbox. Yes. So little. If not that, at least a spark of that matchbox fire, at least we should become. Very, very important. And when we are missionaries, then we can do something for this mission. It's very easy to say that I'm part of ISKCON, but to do justice, to be part of ISKCON is something which you have to think of. Yes, to be a missionary. Now just imagine, Krishna is giving so much of importance to his devotees. And we are living amongst the devotees. This is my constant meditation. One is that rare opportunity of becoming a devotee, and another is to stay amongst devotees. And Krishna is really, 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 very much, he's very possessive when it comes to his devotees. To such an extent that even if a devotee gets into adultery, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, still Krishna is saying, consider him a sadhu. Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhag sadhureva samantavyah samyak vevasito hi saha. He's very clear. My devotees are very dear to me. Now the dear entities are devotees and we are staying with the devotees. So we have to be very, very careful. What is our behavior? Are we taking things for granted? Are we taking devotees for granted? Prabhuji, anyways, we are all practicing devotees. We are still not devotees. No, but when it comes to the Lord, what position Lord is giving to whom, we don't know. Because Lord only knows and the devotee knows. It's all internal. The connection is internal. So it's very, very important to note that Lord has given special position to his devotees. And we are staying in the association of devotees. So we also have to give special position to the devotees. As leaders, we have to care for devotees. We have to help the devotees in various ways to advance in spiritual life. We have to help them in whatever way possible to be in devotional service and to continue devotional service. That's what is the important service of all the leaders who are there. Yesterday I was telling this, that somehow if we can create that community of happy devotees, if all the devotees are nourished in the community, by nice Vaishnava dealings, by nice Vaishnava etiquettes, automatically looking at the happy crowd, because the happy crowd will be in minority, the majority will get attracted to the happy crowd. They will become very, very attracted to this entire association of devotees. They would like to be the part of this association. And so many times people ask us, how come you people are always happy? We have nothing else to do than being happy. No tension in life, what is there? Only tension is sadhana khatam karna hai, kapde dhona hai. Apart from that, what is there? What is there? And literally, even for Grihastha devotees, I have seen new people, they come and ask, our missionary Grihasthas. I'm very proud that we have some missionary Grihasthas in our community. One such Grihastha is there, Krishna Karunamurti Prabhu. Giving up, job, everything, and then just giving life for the mission. So we have such missionaries, in our community. And when people approach these missionary Grihasthas, and they see how happy they are, they ask, how come you people are so happy and so blissful? Kya kare? We are devotees, we are happy. So if we can somehow create that community of devotees, happy community of devotees, then automatically many, many people will be attracted to this mission. Many, many people will be attracted to this mission. Sometimes the youth boys come and ask us, Prabhuji, how are you, so happy all the time? I just say that change the color of your dress and the hairstyle. You'll also be happy. So anyways, on a very serious note, taking care of devotees very nicely is something which we have to do. Because they are very dear to Krishna. If we want to become dear to Krishna, we have to serve the dear entities of Krishna, and they are the devotees. So this I would like to pause here. If you have any questions, please ask. Any questions? Okay, we'll have some comment. Gross body.
But again, on the top of them, there's Gandharvas and Kinnaras, but they have this subtle body.
Actually, as we go higher and higher, the body becomes more subtler and subtler. So maybe assumption is they have the most subtle body. Who knows? So more subtler and subtler. Yeah. Because finally, when it comes to the body of Brahma, It's only intelligence, like that. Technically, I don't know difference. While going back home, we all can see and how subtle the bodies are. Yeah, but technically, I'm not sure. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's what Prabhupada says in one of the lecture. Huh? Okay. Lord Sudarshan is Gandharva. He is Vishnu Tattva. Yeah. Okay. Vishnu Tattva. Sudarshan is Vishnu Tattva.
The same point you mentioned that this is a very rare opportunity you get, and like coming first, getting the human form, then getting in the association. This is very rare, but at the same time, when we preach, we reach out to so many people. So like, and we reach out, we call so many people, and in this also last year only we have touched around 10,000, 20,000 boys. We have touched. We have reached out to them. Then how to understand this rare? Means either it is rare, but people don't value it. That's why it's rare. Or what is that?
See, when we say that it's rare to become a devotee or to come in association of devotees, we also have to understand the Sukruti aspect that is there. So the ones who have practiced bhakti for a long time and have got enough Sukruti, they can actually again come back to devotee association. Or who have some Sukruti to come in association of devotees. So whoever has that, they will come. Now this the Bhagavad Gita shloka where Krishna is saying that give this knowledge of Gita to the devotees. And such a person is very dear to me. There in the purport, Prabhupada writes, in that purport or next purport, Prabhupada writes that devotees, they are very intelligent. They first go and make devotees and then give Bhagavad Gita. They give Sukruti, they get them in the association of devotees, and then they give Bhagavad Gita. So basically, it's very important to note that one cannot become a devotee just like that. One has to have the qualification for the same. That is, one should have Sukruti from past lives, or one should have causeless mercy of some other devotee who is like praying and begging the Lord, please accept him and things like that. So yes, so this will happen. So by the mercy of a devotee, a person can become a devotee.
So it's rare in the sense people are not able to understand its value. That's why it's very rare to like get the association, because association also we give to so many people, but they don't realize the value. So that's why it's like we can understand it's rare.
Now our association might not be that powerful, maybe because of that. See, okay, why is it rare? That's what is the question. So why it's called as rare? Because there are very few people, who are ready to, who are ready to give submissive oral reception to understand how they're servant of the Lord. In this material world, being envious of the Lord is something which is very natural. It's a second nature of ours. But if someone is coming forward, to serve the Lord and the mission, that's the rarest thing. That's what is spoken again and again. To take up to devotional service, is rare. To get that mood that I want to serve the Lord, that mood is rare. That's what is spoken. And why is it rare? Because few people get the opportunity, to associate with devotees. Even when we go out on the roads, we might not be touching everyone. And then even if we touch everyone, so out of that, who has that, the last end of Sukriti where we are putting the last bit and then we are pulling them, right? So very few like that. So it is said rare.
In the sense, all the factors to combine and then the person that is.
Correct. Yeah. Hear from Prabhuji.
Krishna, so this point of the how Bharat Maharaj was installed by Rishabhadev, and he asked everybody to follow him, and then he told that he should follow the Brahmanas, and also the Lord is Brahmanya Deva, so he is the Lord of the Brahmanas, and at the same time, the Lord is putting the Brahmanas in a superior position. So it's like in the top there is a confusion, like able to Bhagavan, able to. So and it's nice, actually nice competition. And nobody wants to be the supreme absolute. So everybody wants to be the servant. So and this aspect of it's very rare, to get the human form of life, and it is like we should in that rare, this one, like getting association of devotees is quite rare, and we should be very, very grateful to be in the association of devotees, and also to become a missionary. That all our acharyas, everybody have been a very amazing missionary. So like we should also be a nice missionary, and also understanding the this one of importance the Lord gives to the devotees. So we should give respect and take care of the devotees nicely.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, yeah, Krishna is giving superior position to his devotees like Brahmanas and all. Actually, the Brahmanas doesn't think like that, but Lord wants to give that position actually. And regarding this missionary, yes, this is very, very important for all of us. And yesterday we had a discussion, some some point which is logistic issue. So missionary means anything which is needed for the mission we have to do, which we will not consider as for our own point of view. So this is very important for all of us. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. So, in this sloka, we can see the hierarchy. Who is the great means like in the position, and we can see like finally like Lord also says that I love the devotees or brahmanas. So and brahmanas also says like they love and they worship the Lord. So they have this kind of loving exchanges with the Lord and the devotees. And one of the lecture when I was hearing that Prabhupada was saying about it's very important to have a Brahmana community, and under their guidance we should take guidance, and we should walk according as per their guidance. And nowadays we can't see this, and mostly there are like they're insignificant, there are no brahmanas at all, and mostly caste brahmanas are more. So Prabhupada is saying this system somehow we have to bring it back, and we have to develop this varnashrama community, and then only people can be very peaceful, or else they will be misunderstandings and quarrel in between amongst them. So to come out of that, the solution Prabhupada gives, we should have these communities, and varnashram system should be there, and Brahmana should be leading that system, and everyone has to follow it, and that's very important. And Prabhupada says nowadays we can see this society mostly they have been fools. They electing a big fool, and that big fool, he thinks that he is so great because only fools are glorifying him. So Prabhupada says no, this is not the right system, because what's there, a fool is being glorified so much. So but still he is a fool. Prabhupada says an example of the tiger or a lion is a king of the animals, but still he is an animal. So similarly, these fools, even though they have been glorified by the fool, but still he is a fool. So he don't know how to lead it. So Prabhupada emphasizes more that we should have this Brahminic community where Brahmana should be there, who will be leading. Hare Krishna.
Grandpa Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai.